Kiki, if you don't mind, let me get you the cut these cards.
All right, that's the player way.
You gotta start somehow.
That's the player way. You know what else is the player way?
Player.
I got the biggest mountain of money in the dream, but that's the player way.
Don't be.
All right, now. Y'all better step it up.
Hey.
One, y'all
That's
need
because you
to.
took all Mike's money. Not mine.
Hey,
All mountains eventually become
I ain't messing
valleys.
around.
Oh, is that, are you trying to prophesy with me right now?
I like that.
Is that what you doing? I got
like that.
concerns that don't concern you right now,
I
homie.
think it's your bet, bro.
All right, my bet it is then. Oh, not with these cards.
All mountains eventually become valleys. So,
My friend.
you know what I'm thinking?
What? What's up?
That's not.
I'm thinking I'm pretty good at what I do.
True.
Now,
You said that.
That feels a little cocky, but what I mean is, in terms
Extremely. Really.
There's
extreme.
of, should I explain it? I should just leave it there.
Please explain.
No, listen,
Let this man pop his collar. We popped your collar,
Explain it to me,
man.
brother.
You can't have all the
Explain
spotlight.
it to me, brother.
I know, and I say that because I believe in pure inspiration. I think inspiration is the best thing there is, right? And when you take that inspiration and be innovative with it, which I think we all have experience with, the idea of I'm gonna, I see the trends that are out there now, but let me try this differently. Just the idea of I want to do this first, whatever it is. I'm gonna like my scene just a little different than he did, and I'm gonna take what you did. I like a lot of your work, Michael. So I may look at it and say, you know what, I'm gonna do that now, but maybe I'm gonna light it differently. And using those skills, acquiring those skills, is the most important thing. Knowing how to be innovative. A lot of people just want to jump out and say, I'm a game changer. You said it earlier.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to change the game. And they think
Can't do it.
Hold on, man. You gonna hurt some people's feelings on Facebook.
Well, no, I'm not going to hurt you. Yeah.
Tell the truth
I'm
now.
not going to hurt your feelings more than I'm going to help you because it came down to me. At the end of the day, we spoke about experience, and there was times when I thought what I was doing was being innovative until I realized outside of my small scope,
Bro,
there's guys doing exactly what I did, and they were doing it better.
under the sun, man.
Red, no new ideas.
Yeah.
And so what has to happen is you have to know how to be innovative. You have to know how to take the experience, observe the current trends in the market, see what's going on with your competition, see what your clients need, see what their desires are, see what they should be, and kind of give them that future product.
Absolutely.
You spoke about it earlier, the idea of, when you spoke on new technology that we may take 500 steps to solve a problem that tomorrow you may solve with one snap of your finger. And it's almost having a futuristic concept. Sometimes you have to do something so well that you're waiting for the technology to catch up to it.
Yeah.
So that's where I see innovation.
Or you're at the point where you end up creating that technology that
Right.
someone's going to use. I mean, you think about like when the Matrix happened and they created that whole bullet time thing. It was something that nobody ever thought of until they did it.
Right.
And now it's one of those techniques that everybody can use because they went out and created what they needed. They went out and created new technology. And it's like, the thing about technology is that, anything can be tech when you're talking about innovation.
True.
It's all a matter of how you use it. I mean, you can take this bottle of water, and if you wanted a specific sound for your video that you're doing, and you could create a sound that would work for whatever you're trying to create. You take a simple wire and create this like ridiculously weird sound. I saw something on the internet, on TV the other day, on Science Channel. This dude just wraps this big coil of wire. It's a huge like long coil of wire. And he tapes a microphone to it, and it creates this like really weird sound that like reverberates in this weird way, and that's something that you can use to your advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're trying to look for some new interesting things to do in your videos, new interesting sounds to make, that's just one example of way you can innovate even with something that may not seem like technology.
Yeah.
But in essence, you're using technology to make that happen. Whether however old that is or how simple it is, it's technology that you're using.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not stepping on any sound designers' toes, but there needs to be some more innovation like that in the world of sound design.
Absolutely, man.
I'm sure, all of us who have come to appreciate, the world of film, but specifically film trailers, and you're watching some of these trailers, and you hear the same
Say that,
sounds.
bro.
Drums.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not just the sound; it's the same fonts all over.
Right.
The same
Fun.
movie posters.
The voiceover at the beginning.
They're using the same music,
all the way
everything.
around.
I mean,
Right.
you looking for, I mean, especially like even me, I do some music on the side and whatever, and I'm always constantly thinking, I'm in a cover band. So I'm always constantly thinking of new ways to like do a song, new and different ways to try and make it fresh. And it's not necessarily innovative. It's just, making you look at it a little differently.
Right, absolutely. One of my favorite shows is Shark Tank, man. And I watch that thing like every Friday night, and they watch it on Hulu because you learn so much. It's like, so you get so much flavor out of that. And what I love about it is like, one of the things that it's like a running gag with them is they say this thing like, there's got to be a better way. And what it is it all basically what they say is invention, which is the essence of innovation, right? It is the product of innovation. Invention begins with a question. There's got to be a better way. And so it's that person who you've gone and you've hooked up these XLR cables hundreds and hundreds of times, and you keep getting the same problem over and over again. As we all have heard the quote, insanity by definition is doing the same thing over and over again and expect to get a different result. The person who is innovative is the person who says, why do we keep doing it like this?
Right.
Why do we keep chasing the same thing? Like, why don't I just do this and do that and do that? And all of a sudden Facebook is invented.
Right.
And there's millions of dollars being made, and so it's one of those things where there's a certain fearlessness. The other kind of traits that we talked about earlier, these are things that are kind of gained with experience. Innovation is that cut above the rest. You get to experience, you can build a great career based on just observation, investigation and application of your experience.
Right.
But the people who thrive and really make their name and stake their claim in our fields are those people who are just fearless and say, you know what, this is stupid. We're doing it different.
I think it's a situation where the person who, like you said, you can build an entire career off just those things alone. But the person who leaves behind the legacy, is the person who can be innovative.
True.
Like it's that simple. Like the person that we all aspire to. When I think, as a graphic designer, I think about just famous logos and the UPS logo, which is very simple, but it's by a guy named Paul Rand who, as a young guy growing up, I shouldn't know who that is. But when you sit and think about the simplicity of this logo, and it's like this guy left a legacy behind. There's
Timeless.
Millions of logos that have tried to mimic that.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference. That's where innovation just kind of sets you apart from whatever crowd you may be standing close to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a fan of FedEx and the negative space.
The arrow?
Yeah. But, I guess one of the pitfalls with innovation is always kind of chasing the next thing. You see these folks, speaking of gear and acquisition and everything, they're always chasing the next big thing. And I gotta admit, as a gearhead myself, like that's something I have to watch out for to make sure that I'm not like, hey, this production that I'm about to do would be great if. Why if? Where does the if come from? Why do we put these self-imposed sanctions on things to say we don't have what we need? I know that BK and I can share stories personally of times where we've made it work, bro. Whether it's work lights on a situation where it doesn't, no one would believe that it was work lights, but it's because we all know situations where we had to make it work. So for the folks out there who are just trying to make their thing happen and don't necessarily have the quote-unquote industry standards for their tools, find a way to do what you want to do within that realm of possibilities and then push the limits. And guess what? You've innovated. You might not have the innovative materials, but you innovated.
Right. I mean, there's just people in the world doing creative things right now. Like there are guys literally somewhere in this country in a basement right now, just filming great videos.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
playing poker,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Waiting for a certain dude who's wearing glasses to move the game along, and then the dude would have had to move so I can get back in the thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to play, y'all.
And you will never know that once you see the finished product if they're innovative enough to show it.
But for real though, we need to play though. Like, where's the cards at? Come on, man.
You see who the game changer is. Game changer.
I'm sorry, man, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, but a big thing about allowing yourself, you have to kind of allow yourself to to want to innovate. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to stretch yourself past what you already know in order to innovate. Because I think a lot of people, this is going back to what we were talking about as far as experience, you get complacent in your experience and you don't even want to even like try and do things differently. You just want to, hey, I know this works. 100%, this works, and this is all I'm gonna do.
And you know what? And you know what that is? That's fear.
Yeah.
That's fear. What causes people to not be innovative? It's hard to be innovative. It's hard to quit that job and say, you know what? I'm gonna not do this anymore, and I'm gonna do something completely different that I think I can do, and it's not been proven yet, but I believe in myself and I can do this. Or saying, you know what? I know everyone else at this company wants to do things a different way, but dagnabbit, they made me in charge of it, and I'm gonna change things. You know, like that. I got to do for the families at home. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
Tarnation.
That wasn't the tarnation. But yeah, man. I mean, you can't. You know, one of my best friends and colleagues in the business. His name is Jay Styles. He's DJ out in Los Angeles. Shout out to him. And he did this thing with us about fear and failure. Because the fear of failure can cause you to fail. It goes back to what you were just saying a little bit ago when you were saying, you can be a gearhead and you sit in your studio and I'm gonna buy this equipment, I'm gonna buy that, and I'm gonna buy that, and buy that, and you start to violate something that a friend of mine, Jeff Holbrook, says all the time. Don't school the thing, do the thing.
Yeah.
You spend so much time studying and what you can do, you don't get anything done. 5 years goes along, and you know tons of great things. I know tons of gearheads that know everything, but haven't done anything in their career.
It's like you knew this was gonna fail. It's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, man, you're just like, man, I knew I was gonna fail at this, but that's because you didn't try anything.
Yeah.
You were too afraid to try anything.
Say that.
So you just have to be willing.
Don't be successful at being a failure. Don't let that be your success.
Can I use that?
Really?
That's a T-shirt.
I said it first.
I said it
Let's be
first.
recognized by Ricky Bobby Incorporated.
You use the first go word. Say it. You said. These views and opinions are expressed.
Exactly, man. That's awesome, man. Okay, can we get back to playing poker?
Let's
do it. Whose time was it?
It's these two, man. We both folded, so they.
Oh, wait, y'all go ahead, man. Y'all holding up our money. You know what I'm saying? Go and get your money so I can get mine.
Because I don't need it.
Trick people.
I can be nice.
You already put $50.
Okay, is that me?
I mean, it has to be you. No one else does that.
Pretend that's true. That's my move. My go-to.
That's my go. That's my move. This is my space. This is your move.
Kevin James. Will Smith.